Hello, I am so happy to be back in the kitchen. know I haven't done a cooking demo in a while, and I'd really like to get back into some more recipes. So, this one I made ahead of time so I can show you a finished product, which I showed on the thumbnail of the video. But it is a custard that it's fabulous warm right when you make it, but it's really intended to put it in some sort of dish and then put it in the refrigerator to cool. And I'm just going to show you the texture of it. You can see it is really custard-like. It's not pudding. And I can't wait for you guys to try it. So I'm going to just scoot right through it to show you how simple and easy it is. All right, first, I'm going to also say that, yes, carnivore is carnivore. It's foods from animals. And yes, this recipe does have some spices. So if you don't tolerate spices or you don't want to eat any spices, you can leave all the spices out because this custard is actually really good with just the base ingredients, which are heavy whipping cream, eggs, a little bit of gelatin, which is just beef powder gelatin. And this is grass-fed, pasture-raised. I really like this one. I'm going to put a link to some of the specific ingredients that I particularly like. So you can make it and then just a pinch of salt and make it just like that. Since we're 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, I'm going to make a pumpkin pie vanilla variation of this custard. And then at the end, if you stick around, I'm going to show you how you can make some really cool alternative twists. And as we go along, I'm going to tell you also some different things as far as making it and serving it for non-carnivore family members as like a really healthy dessert that probably you're best off doing a little bit of some sort of sweetener. And we'll get into that because I'm really not a fan of stevia. I myself don't use sweeteners at all because sweeteners trigger cravings and it's just an ongoing battle. But there is a time and a place for it. When I make this for my mom, I'm so happy for her to have this instead of some other, kind of garbage dessert. So I'm making a half a recipe tonight. Portion control. Lisa likes to eat all of it. Lisa comes from a binge eating background. Lisa comes from a disordered relationship with food background. If I make the whole batch, yes, sometimes I can get myself to freeze part of it because this actually tastes really pretty darn good frozen. So I'm just going to start by making, you can do this in a regular saucepan, but I like to do it in a large pan like this because of the surface area and it heats it better. But so I threw a cup of heavy cream in there. I'm going to have the full recipe written in the description so you can just copy and paste it when you're ready to do that. So medium low, you're just going to cook this, heat this until it kind of gets a little bit steamy, but you don't have to continually stir it. Can you guys tell me if is my sound okay and is my video okay? Because I am doing this on my iPad for the first time instead of on my laptop. I'm having some laptop issues with it hesitating and freezing. So if you could leave. Oh, hi, Erica. Erica's my friend in Cocoa Beach who's going to be joining us on the Carb Sober cruise in February. And she is also jumping on a cruise ship in a couple weeks for my 60th birthday cruise that I'm treating myself to. Okay, awesome. Both are great. Super. Okay, so you've got the heavy cream heating, warming, while you then, now remember, you guys know my recipes, they're simple, or else I just don't want to be bothered. This is really simple. So 3 eggs. Remember, I'm doing a half recipe. I will put the full recipe when I write it in the show notes. Okay, so remember what I said. Don't give me any comments about how all this other stuff is not carnivore. I get it. You can mix it up with this, the pinch of salt, and the gelatin, and then you're going to end up mixing it in with the heavy cream. But I'm going to do it the awesome, awesome way. I don't react to spices. So I've already measured out to save time, pumpkin pie spice, and I like to use vanilla bean powder instead of vanilla extracts. I try as much as I can to use the dry spice versions if I can. I like this to be really kind of cinnamony, so I put in some extra cinnamon. This was a spice container from my grandmother from when I was a little girl and she cooked, and it's glass and it's got like the little sentimental. I just love it. So my cinnamon always gets filled into there. And then it's got some Redmond's salt, just a 1/4 teaspoon. And also, oh, now hang on here. I'm not paying attention to my. Okay, so now this is really good because it is starting to steam. So I'm just going to leave that on really low. So all of those spices I just named go in here. And I don't know why that. And then, so I'm just putting this in a little food processor, and then the beef gelatin powder just goes in there too. And then I'm just going to mix this up. If I can get this on. Hey, you know what? I'm going to try. This is a new mic. I'm going to try putting on the noise cancellation. Let's see if it works. Probably not. Did that do anything? Okay, so that is it. And you can just see it's a big, just gloppy egg and spice and gelatin mixture. And the gelatin blooms a little bit in this just from being in the liquid, but it will more when it gets onto the hot, heavy cream. And you're going to whisk. So voila, we have a whisk. And you're going to whisk and whisk and whisk because you don't want the egg to cook in here. But this is just very hot, heavy cream. And hope you can see okay. We are just slowly pouring this in, whisking, and you can go ahead and type in some questions if you have any questions. I did notice before we started, I know somehow, I guess when I leave the link up or it shows on YouTube that I'm coming on, somebody made a comment about allulose and how I should check it out. And like I said before, I try to stay away from, actually, I don't try to, I do stay away from all sweeteners unless I am making something for my mom who is a total sugar addict. So if I made this, I find it really enjoyable. I don't find it too bland. The heavy cream in itself just has that little touch of sweetness. When you're a carnivore for a long time, you tend to just find these unsweetened things rather delicious when they're, I think, pretty decadent when it's heavy cream. So the allulose is, again, a well, you know, the stevia. Oh, so you can make a version with the Equip Prime protein. If I would have added just a half a scoop, well, I wouldn't have done it with this pumpkin one. With the pumpkin one, I would have done the Equip Prime vanilla. Just a half a scoop would have gone into that egg blender mix. But I'm going to show you later. You can do a version where you add freeze-dried instant decaf coffee crystals, or whatever you want to call that, and some hazelnut extract, and make a coffee custard version of this. And you can use this is salted caramel Equip, and then there's a chocolate one. You could even make a strawberry custard. So I've done that for my mom because, again, I'm telling you, it's been my 15 years of being carnivore. I have tried and tried to get my mom to come on board, and she insists that she doesn't have the willpower. And so I at least feel better making certain things that I know are much better than cake and cookies, right? So you can do strawberry prime Equip, and I like to mix the strawberry and the vanilla. She seems to really like that. And you can play around with this. And, you know, I know if you have a family who you're just trying to get on board to do, let's call it harm reduction, get away from processed foods and processed desserts, this is, you know, at least really good as far as healthy. And then those of us who have sugar addictions have a whole nother issue about just staying away from the sweetener. So I will add one other interesting aside that I have played around with. Um, and don't worry if this is like a little bit lumpy. You can actually strain it if you, no, don't even bother. It's actually really good having it a little, sometimes when it's a little lumpy, I like it. It's like when I used to make farina, I used to purposely make it lumpy. So what I was getting at, I was trying different things to see if I could do some sort of sweetness without it being sweeteners. And I don't know if you all know about the amino acid glycine, or the supplement inositol. Both of them are actually have shown, well, both of them are really good for sleep. So if you do glycine, inositol, and magnesium, that's like the little trifecta for helping out with sleep that I have some people try. I can give you the amounts, but so I am, so I don't, it's hard to see, but it's basically just looks like, it looks like pudding right now. But then as you cook it a little bit more, I do this for about 10 minutes. So I'm glad you're here keeping me company. Normally I would be just listening to a podcast or something. Um, okay, so the reason why I bring that up is because glycine, now glycine can come as tablets or just in a container as a powder. I will just, this is when I make it so it can be a little bit, have a touch of sweetness. Inositol is about 50%. It's actually 48%. If you want to get technical, the sweetness of sugar, but the glycine is 1.5 times the sweetness of sugar. And it's an amino acid. It's good for collagen, hair. There's a lot of benefits, but there's glycine in meat, so it's not like we need to supplement. I was just playing around with it because I know it is good for sleep, and my mom has issues with sleep too. And it has a little subtle sweetness to it. So I will show you, make sure I have that on low, what you can do. I don't know how I'm going to do this because, okay, there we go. I've got a little bowl up here. So I just have the capsule and I just give a little twist and you can see the little capsule shells just empty out. I put them together and throw that in the trash. And if you do about, so 3 of them, might as well sprinkle that in there, would make it actually a touch sweet, very, very subtly. To somebody who's used to a full-on dessert, it's not going to really hit the spot, but it will actually be something, like I said, if you're going to have guests eating this pumpkin vanilla custard, it would be, unless you want to eat it all to yourself, since if you have no sweetener in it. But yeah, go ahead and do glycine, inositol, or a half a scoop of the prime protein. I think everybody would really, really love it. And if you're going to bring a dessert like this for yourself, like I could see, because I've made extra here, I've made this, I will freeze some and then I can just bring it with me to my family Thanksgiving and have myself a little something something while they're eating cheesecake and I don't know what. There's always, oh, well, a big ass pumpkin pie. Or an apple cake. My mom makes this really, really great German apple cake. Oh my gosh. Boy, do I remember what that tasted like. Yeah, I'm salivating. So this is really pretty much done. Like you don't really have to wait for it to do anything special. You can kind of see that it's starting to separate a little bit. And all I'm going to do is I will pour it into, container like this, like I had the other one. Or I really love these little ramekins, and these come with silicone tops, which are awesome because then you can just use this for like as a leftover container, and they stack really well. Just lid, lid, lid. So you can stack them in the freezer, stack them in the fridge. I love these. And the size is really good. I will link I think it was like a set of 4 or 6 that I got, but I'm going to put this in here because I will freeze it. And sometimes I eat it from frozen, or I'll take it out and thaw it. So I think instead of making a big mess pouring it, I can actually pour it into this without making a mess, but I don't think I will get it. Not sure I will actually get it into the And that's it. So when I say simple, simple, that is pretty much as simple as these things get. What was I going to do? I guess I'm going to do another one of these too. And like I said earlier, this tastes fabulous eating it warm. But technically, you're supposed to cool it for 3 hours in the fridge. Who has 3 hours to wait to try this delicious smelling thing? And I've done a number of recipes where I get annoyed that I don't put enough cinnamon or vanilla or pumpkin pie. It's just, you can kind of taste it, but not really. Of course, you gotta lift the spatula. That is so darn good. And unsweetened. I mean, maybe it's because of the cinnamon and the pumpkin pie. I didn't put, what did I only put one of these things in, so that wouldn't have been sweet from that. Oh, I did forget to put in, but this is maple extract that I love putting in that. So I'm going to actually mix it in now, since I have a little dropper thing here. Just mix 1 dropper full in each one. So we just mix that in. And of course, like I said, you don't have to do any of this. I just find that maple extract, I don't know why I forgot to put it in there. I should have put it in with the egg mixture, but it's totally fine because I've got it in and I've got it all mixed in. And so yeah, this is pudding-like now. And once it goes in, the gelatin and the egg kind of solidifies a little bit more into that custard that I showed you. I love this got a really nice, like, fine mesh screen on it. And in here, I have a mixture of the vanilla bean powder, cinnamon, and cardamom. I love cardamom. My grandmother was Danish, and Danish pastries and baking, they commonly use cardamom as one of their spices. So just have a little nostalgia for that. But these will go right into the refrigerator. And remember, I made half of the recipe. So there's portion control for Lisa. But obviously you can see it would have made 4. And these are pretty big. These are, I think, 6 ounce. They're not the small 4-ounce ones. So I hope you like that. Like I said, the other variation, you just eliminate the pumpkin and the heavy cinnamon pumpkin pie spice, and you just put in decaf coffee granules, and I like hazelnut extract with that, and that makes a fabulous what I call carnivore dessert. You can, once it goes in the fridge like that, and you saw this was my finished product here, you can make this for a birthday because candles will actually stick right in there. And it is a fabulous, non-cheating, except for the spices, way to maybe just every so often give yourself something special. I do not make this on a regular basis. But I will say too, instead of using 3, if you were doing fat fast days, instead of using 3 whole eggs, you can use 5 egg yolks and the heavy cream and the gelatin, and that makes an awesome meal during a fat fast day. So there's that too. All right. Let me see if there's any questions that maybe I should um, pick up on. Beatrice, yeah, all the recipe is going to be written out. A little something something or a big ass pumpkin pie. Yeah. Carrie, hi from Iowa. Um, so so Christopher says allulose is definitely a better option than some sweeteners, but you can overdo anything. I've had clients who ate so much of it they got digestive issues. There's no free sweetened foods. No, 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 no. And you remember what I always say, going the sweetener route is just switching seats on the Titanic. It's still going down with it. It's still not getting you where you want to go, which is to have peace and freedom around food. And when you have that nagging, I want something sweet, as soon as you keep feeding that craving, it's just perpetuates itself. And then it becomes very simple and easy to slip into that dreaded carb ditch. We're always all 2 feet away from that ditch, and sometimes it's very hard to get out. And you can do a lot of reversal of progress that you've made by simply deciding to have your cheat meal, your cheat weekend, your cheat holiday, your cheat month, because it's a rough road. So I hope that this is at least a helpful non-cheat cheat, I guess, if you want to call that. I don't really call this a cheat at all because it's heavy whipping cream, eggs, beef gelatin, and a pinch of salt. And it can end right there if you put in the vanilla bean powder, the pumpkin pie spice powder, um, and the cinnamon. I've always used spices. The reason why I don't make this often is because, yeah, the texture of it, the mouth feel, it is reminiscent of creme brulee and pudding and custard, and right. And so that can get you into trouble. It's not something that I make on the daily. Nope, nope, not at all. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. So it helps spread the word. I'm trying to just passionately be a motivating, inspiring person here to get people healthy and really to understand that without our health, we have nothing. And just remember, when you go off to your social events, your holiday parties, your family get togethers, that you don't owe anybody an explanation, and your health does not give a crap about the opinions of anybody else. So just remember those things and have a great one. And I will see you next time.